And welcome to the Glenwood Gators Coaches Show, presented by Georgia Alabama Sports Live. We are live here at Mike and Ed's Barbecue. Big shout out to Chase Cook, the owner. I'm excited to be hosting, filling in for Wes Hargrove. He's been doing a great job, 5 weeks in a row, and here with the coach of the Glenwood Gators, Coach Ryan Nelson. Coach, I've been here every Monday night producing behind the camera. I got to tell you, I'm excited that I'm getting to host tonight. How have you been, Coach?
Well, Richard, first off, thank you so much for being here hosting our show tonight. And, we joke about Wes, and I think it was 5 straight weeks or something, about the consistency and stuff. But he's out tonight, and he's been a little under the weather this weekend. But also, he was down there with our girls volleyball team, which they're playing in the Final Four tonight. And so they're going on right now, yeah. So shout out to Coach K and her bunch, the volleyball team. Hopefully we can pull it out. I think we're up 2-0 right now in the Final Four. So if we can just finish it off, we'll be in a championship game tomorrow with the volleyball team. So hopefully that'll go well. But again, thank you so much for being here and doing our show. And pleasure that you can do it for us.
I appreciate that, Coach. It is a great time to be a Glenwood Gator. You're 9-0. Big win over Morgan Academy, 49-8 on senior night. Coach, what was that atmosphere like, the pregame ceremonies, honoring the seniors, and then going out and playing a football game where you were up 35-0 at the half?
Yeah, well, the good thing about it is, we had a phenomenal senior night. For the seniors to get out there and have their families out there and be honored was very important. And the most important thing is, it was our last regular season home game, and the chance for them to go out on top. And, our guys came out, and, I say this a lot of times, they got out the locker room very fast. We got the locker room very fast defensively. So, again, credit our defensive staff and Coach McConnell and his staff and for coming up with a great game plan. We got some turnovers earlier, and then we cashed in real quick on them. And, Richard, I looked up, and I think with about 7 minutes to go in the first quarter, it was 28-0. So, I credit our guys. We had some big plays. We had some turnovers, and we were able to kind of get out and run out early. But it was just a great night for our seniors. We got 20 of them and their families, our senior cheerleaders, our senior water girls, our senior, video production people. So that was awesome for them. And good just kind of get that one out of the way. We're 9-0, 7-0 in the region. And, we got one more game this week and to finish up the regular season. But, besides it, we'll talk about this game later on that we got this week. But, just cannot be more happy where we're at, being 9-0 and, being 7-0, running the table in the region, winning that. And just got to finish one more off, and we'll get ready for the playoffs next week.
All right, Coach. We could go into the game with Morgan Academy, but I do want to talk about these seniors. You mentioned 20. I actually was going down the roster, and I've looked at some of the players, and we're going to start, and you just tell me, their accomplishments this season and what have they done and what does it mean for them just to be a Glenwood Gator part of this program. We have to start with the quarterback, Dallas Crow.
Right.
He's second year in your system, dual threat quarterback, 20 touchdowns. He's second on the team in rushing. I remember when we called that Lee Scott Academy game for Georgia Alabama Sports Live, it seemed like he just took the game over with some amazing runs. He is very competitive. He wants to win. But what does it mean for Dallas Crow playing his final home game on Friday night to go out a winner and just having just a phenomenal season that he has?
Right. Dallas is just, like you said, he's a winner, competitor. He comes to work every single day. And, his attributes off the field are just as amazing as they are on the field. And just a great kid, a great human being, got a lot of class, a lot of character about himself. And I think the one thing that sticks out to me about Dallas that a lot of people don't see, they only see on Friday night, is the work he puts in. He's just a tremendous hard worker when it comes to the film room, when it comes to the weight room, when it comes to the practice time and stuff like that. And so I credit him. He's going to be very successful with anything he does in life. And, he comes out and throws touchdown pass. The first one, I think, to Eli Bankston. The next one to Griff Garner. I think the next one to Braden Gooden. So it's good to see, several different senior receivers catch touchdowns also. Very proud of a guy named Brooks Riley. who got to start for us on senior night at Z receiver, and he catches the first two balls for about 40 yards and has some big time burst up the sideline over there. So very happy for him also. But just getting back to Dallas, it just continues to be a leader of our football team. But it's just like today at practice. We're back at work, and I'm pushing those guys hard, man. And I just. The thing is, a lot of people can say, "Hey, Richard, we're 9-0" and things like that, and we can get complacent, but that's not where I'm at. And I said this last week. It's a bigger goal out there. We've already clinched the region, so every week you got to bring it. You got to be willing to work, because if you don't, then that week may pass you by, and then you dip down, and you're not ready to play when it gets crunch time.
Another senior I want to talk about, Coach. He plays on both sides of the ball. He is an absolute competitor. The leading receiver on the team, and he also is tied for the lead with 2 interceptions, Camden White.
Yep.
How special has this season been for Camden White, and what are some of the key areas where he really stepped up when it mattered?
Yeah, I mean, a lot like Dallas when I say just true competitor, true hard worker. He's that guy behind the scenes. He's a tremendous in the weight room, tremendous locker room character guy. But I think the biggest thing for Camden was accepting his role, which we needed offensively, him to come in to be a playmaker. We knew defensively what he could do, for the first, him starting the first 2 years and as a sophomore and junior year. But him just coming in being a playmaker for us. And, I think Cam's really grown this year and started to understand, kind of more of the offensive side of the game, which he had a lot of knowledge on defense. But again, him and Dallas, when you watch those guys, when you turn the tape on Saturday mornings, you watch those guys play, just true competitors, man. They love the game, they play hard, and they're going to give us everything they got every Friday night.
All right, Coach, another player who's also a senior that I want to talk to you about. He's been on this show before. It's your kicker, Griffin Montroy.
That's right.
Look, we all remember last year him kicking the lights out of the stadium. It was awesome.
That was awesome.
I was on the call. And that
That
had
was
been a
awesome.
special moment,
It
especially
was.
a video that's gone viral.
It was.
But he really has been a clutch kicker for you, and really just an outstanding person and a leader on this team. But what has Griffin Montroy been to this team as far as contributing and just being?
Well, I think Montroy's biggest attribute, obviously, he's got a big leg, and he is our kicker and things like that. But again, Montroy's one of these guys where, last year, did a very good job for us when it comes to place kicking and extra points and field goals and stuff. I think his game is up so much and upped our football team so much by what he does on his kickoffs. And, his touchback percentage is right at, 80%. And, I tell our coaches every Sunday, it's so difficult in high school football that when you score touchdowns, if you kick off and you kick the ball in the end zone and they got to go 80 on your defense, it's very tough. And then on the flip side, when we have to play teams like that, it's very difficult on us also. So he's done a really, really good job. Him and Will, our punter, which Will's a junior, those two guys are outstanding, hard workers also. They bust their butt in the weight room. They do a great job of just, when we kind of go offense and defense, they go in there and working with our kicking coach, Coach Eddie Miranda. And, they're hard workers, and, just continue to keep on kicking. And, Montroy's a fantastic soccer player also. So hopefully he can just kind of finish out this year football-wise, and, hopefully he can keep putting the ball in the end zone.
Absolutely. Big shout out to Coach Eddie Miranda, the soccer coach for
Yes, sir.
Glenwood. I knew him because he was the head coach for the Columbus Rapids.
He was,
We've had that relationship. On defense, you're losing several senior leaders.
Yeah,
Let's
for sure.
talk about your leading tackler, Lamont Burton, and your leading sack leader, Wesley Graham. And what did they mean to the defense? For Glenwood?
Richard, I don't want to talk about losing those guys just yet. We still we still got another game this week, and we're guaranteed a playoff game, so we're not losing them yet. So
for the last home game.
I understand what you're saying, but I can't say enough about Lamont and Wesley. Just true leaders of our defense, along with Thet Morris. I think those three guys right there are the three bona fide leaders of our football team, especially defensively. And all three of them just play so well together. Wesley controls the front end, Mont controls the second level, and Thet controls the third level right there. So they do a great job of working together. I think it's been really huge to get defensively, to get Wesley at nose. He played a little bit more guard for us last year, and Thet played more receiver. But to get Thet on the back end, to get Wesley at nose, and what I like to say is Wesley frees up Mont. You know, Wesley demands double teams most of the time, and when he draws a lot of double teams, it allows Mont to kind of run around and make plays. And then if they get past that, and usually Thet's there to kind of clean it up and make his plays.
All right, Coach. Several other Glenwood seniors I want to recognize, and if I do, if I forget somebody, just please let me know, Coach. So Eli Bankston, Samaje Williams, Braden Gooden, Cannon Boyd, Jackson Griggs, who actually was tied with the lead for 2 interceptions. Got a big interception against Lee Scott Academy. Makai Abrams, Wyatt Taylor, Brooks Riley, Denton Denny. And you mentioned Thet Morris,
Right.
Coach. Were there anybody else that I didn't?
Well, off the top of my head, I know Hayden Lahr, I know Max Ross, 2 guys that I know off the top of the head, and I know we're leaving out a couple more. And so, off the top of my head, I can't really, just think right now. I'm trying to actually think, but I can't off the top of my head. So,
They're tremendous seniors. It was just a great moment at senior night for the Glenwood Gators.
Will Johnson, our center, Wyatt Taylor,
There you go.
just 2 more offensive linemen. So I'll remember some more. I promise you here in just a second.
We'll make sure that we'll get
we got
the
so
names.
many of them.
Yeah, absolutely. But it was a great night at the Swamp. Glenwood gets the victory over Morgan Academy, 49-8, which was surprising because this was a team that you beat in the semifinals in the AISA playoffs last year. Morgan only dressed 17 players. I mean, they were very thin, but they were off to a hot start last year, and you beat them in the regular season last year and then beat them in the playoffs. But what did that win mean to the program? I mean, what were you expecting going into the game against Morgan, knowing that they were a good team? It's just they've had an issue with depth.
Yeah, their roster's kind of depleted a little bit right now. But I will say this, Richard. Like I said last week to West, this time last year we went down there and it was a very good ball game. They had some talent. They had some guys that made a lot of plays against us. Luckily, we was able to play a great second half and kind of run away a little bit from them. And then when they came back and played us in the playoffs last year, had a couple guys hurt, had a couple guys, out for COVID and stuff like that. So their roster was kind of depleted then also. So, but yeah, their roster's a little down. I think they had 23 on the roster total. I think they had 5 or 6 in street clothes and then only dressed 17. So, you kind of just, when you look at a game like that, we did exactly what I wanted to do is come out fast, kind of step on their throats a little bit and play fast and, dominate the first half, and that's what we did. And we were able to get a lot of the young guys in, and very happy the way they played again. And that's kind of like the second or third time they've played in the last 3 or 4 weeks, and those guys keep getting better. They keep getting better with reps, and very happy with Trey Clarity. Trey Clarity, he played an outstanding game at quarterback for us, being a freshman, had some very big plays, and Josiah Clark, another running back that had some big plays. Andrew Wilkerson at linebacker, Greg Gardner at linebacker had some great plays. So very happy with the way some of those freshmen were able to get out there and play and make some plays.
Well, the future looks bright for the Glenwood Gators. That is our first segment here in the books for the Glenwood Gators Coaches Show. We'll be back with a quick break, and then we will have segment 2 as we'll bring on some assistant coaches, and we'll talk about Glenwood Gator football and what we expect coming up. Welcome back to the Glenwood Gators Coaches Show, presented by Georgia Alabama Sports Live. We are live here at Mike and Ed's Barbecue. Big shout out to Chase Cook, the owner. It's always a great time when we're here at Mike and Ed's on this Monday night. Coach, you got several assistant coaches with you. We don't have players on today, but we get to know the offense and the defensive coordinators. We got the offensive coordinator, Earl Alexander, and we got the defensive coordinator, Josh McConnell. Coach, I would like for you to just introduce them and just ask, like, what does it mean just to be a part of your
Yeah,
staff?
first and foremost, to my right here, the hometown local legend, the pride of Alabama, the Crimson Tide. I know I'm embarrassed a little bit, but this is Coach Earl Alexander. And, I just am very thankful that we get to work together again. He's been with me for 2 years now. It's the second year. And me and Earl, a little backstory, we kind of grew up together. Earl was a freshman coming up, a big hot shot quarterback, kind of like his son, going to be one day. But, Earl was in ninth grade. Earl was about a 6'3", bona fide athlete. I was a senior in high school. And, Earl came up and played with my senior group, and we were kind of loaded too. But he was kind of the backup quarterback, and he came on and then went on to have a phenomenal career at Central. And then I went on to college and played at the University of Alabama, played receiver, and ended up playing for Coach Saban later in his career. So just thankful to have him. Hometown, like I said, local legend, but does a wonderful job with our offense. And does a great job with our receivers. Very knowledgeable coach, very good with the kids, and just blessed him and his family are able to be with me, and love having him with me. And then I have, to the far side down there, another local legend, Josh McConnell. And, he's a big-time Glenwood legend, big-time college baseball player, played at the University of Marshall, the Thunder and Herd. And but he kind of like myself, was a baseball guy in college, went that way, but always had a love for football. And Coach McConnell's been a head coach at Lakeside High School, also been a defense coordinator at Glenwood. So when I kind of got here, kind of no-brainer to try to get him on and to run our defense with his knowledge and expertise being over there. So just been a wonderful thing with him. Our relationship has grown so much in the last 2 years. And I say relationship, our friendship, off the field and on the field, just have a lot of trust for him, and kind of give him the leeway to go attack our opponents and can stop them on defense. And but could be more happier with both of these guys, the way they've coached our kids this year. And hopefully we just keep on moving along and keep on doing great things.
I tell you what, Coach, you have two great coordinators here. You're playing great on both sides of the ball, offense, defense, and special teams. But what does it mean just to have that relationship with your two coordinators, and really what has this relationship been like for the past 2 years? I think this is their second year on your
Yeah, that's
staff?
correct, yes. Well, I think the biggest thing for me, it is about X and O's. It is about, production on Friday nights. But, one thing I was able to do early in my career is be on staff where you really have friendships and you're able to trust guys. And I think that's the biggest thing for me is, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad on Friday nights. That's going to be football. But the thing I do know is both of these guys, I can trust them. They're going to be, there for the good and the bad. But, the most important thing, they're going to work their tails off, and they're going to be there for the kids. And we're always going to go into a Friday night with a chance to win because they're going to both put great game plans together and give us a chance to win.
All right, this question is for Coach Alexander. Coach,
Yes, sir.
thank you for being on the show. I see you every Monday night, and I finally get to interview you. And the offense is rolling. Dallas Crow is having a great season. He's got weapons all over. I mean, what does it mean to you? Like, your offense just flows so smoothly because Dallas Crow has so much good awareness and he reads the plays. And what does it mean to have a quarterback like Dallas Crow leading that offense?
Well, having a quarterback like Dallas is very important. I mean, it starts with the quarterback, having a good leader on the field. That's the coach on the field. And having him out there just, dictating things and putting everybody in the right place and making sure everybody know what to do. And, he's accurate with the football. And, receivers are making plays out there. So having a quarterback and good receivers, good running back also, it's been remarkable.
And you do have a sophomore running back, Carter Judah, so that's great that he's going to be in the Glenwood uniform for the next 2 seasons. This question's for you, Coach McConnell. Your defense is playing lights out. Lamont Burton, the leading tackler. You got Camden White, Jackson Griggs, ball hawks, just intercepting, deflecting passes. Wesley Graham just patrolling that D line. I mean, what does it mean to to get a quick 3 and out, get that offense back on the field, because when they're rolling, it's great just to get that quick 3 and out and get a big stop. And that's pretty much what the defense has been doing all season. And what does it mean to you as a coach to know that your defense is firing on all cylinders?
Our number one job is to get the ball back in Dallas's hands in the offense and let them go score. I wouldn't want to. We defend them every day in practice, and it's not a lot of fun. So, that's our job. Our job is to do what we got to do and get them the ball back so they can take the ball and go score, because they're doing a good job of it. For our guys defensively, it's really simple. I told somebody today, I said the biggest difference between this group and last year's group is there's never been a finger pointed. We've had some bad things that go wrong in a game, but it's never been, oh, you got to do something. It's, oh, let's get it right. What can we do to get it right? And to be honest, that starts with leadership, and Lamont and Denny have really stepped into that role for us and tried to keep everybody even keel, never too high, never too low. So, for me, it's just, yeah, we're playing great. We're playing good, but it's like I tell them, I don't want to be good. We want to be great. You know what I mean? We want to be something when somebody turns on a film. It's like, whoa, what are we going to do? Like, there's not a hole there that we can exploit. But we've done a good job, like I said, of just battling through some adversity. Biggest one is, you think about Brookstone. Brookstone takes the ball first drive, drives it right down the field and scores. It's like we weren't even there. But we figured never any finger pointing, never any, it's just let's just go get it right. And we were able to do that. So that's been kind of the thing that's kept us afloat, and the thing that's, I guess, made us progress the most is we haven't ever looked at each other and pointed a finger. It's been a collective unit of, hey, let's go get it right.
And Coach, I also think your defense is just going to continue playing better because you have to face Dallas Crow in practice.
Oh, it's definitely. Our offense is tough, and we talk about it all the time. Like, we get to go against a great offense every day. Right. So, and it's the message we try to send to them is that's one reason why our practice is so important. We can't get shown up in practice in the sense of we have to be ready to practice, because if not, we're going to get exploited. And so it's great preparation for us. I couldn't ask for anything more, to be honest, as a defensive guy. When you got guys that can go make plays and you get to practice against them every day, it's kind of what you want. You know what I mean? And like you said, iron sharpens iron, so.
Correct. Exactly. Coach Alexander, this question is for you. That Lee Scott Academy game was such a great game. It was a back-and-forth game, two great quarterbacks. You're dialing up the plays, and you've got to match Lee Scott score for score. The turnovers really helped Glenwood seal that victory. But when you're calling plays as an offensive coordinator and you're seeing that the other team is doing the same exact thing you're doing on offense, how precise do you got to be when it comes to calling plays? Or do you let Dallas Crow just do what he does as an athlete, or do you got to make adjustments like you did against Lee Scott?
Well, we go into the game with a game plan, and of course, we want to execute the game plan. As the game goes along, we make adjustments according to what they do if they change things up. But just going out there, executing the game plan and making plays is what we really count on our guys to do.
All right, Coach Nelson, these two guys to your right, they really just make the offense and the defense work. That special relationship, but it doesn't take them. You have an incredible coaching staff.
That's correct.
Just talk about some of the staff that's behind them on offense and defense.
Well, first I'll start with the defense. You got up front, Coach Tyson Armstrong, and on the back end, or I say the back end, the middle end, Coach Galen Smith and Coach Justin Jackson, and then on the back end, Coach McConnell. And then, offensively, you got Coach Jason Armstrong with our O-line, and then Coach Jesse Boyd with our running backs, and Coach Alexander right there with our receivers. So, then Coach Eddie, Miranda, he's, with our kickers and stuff. But, one thing I say, like Coach McConnell hit on, it ain't like when you go to practice, it's always one-sided where the offense is always beating the defense. That is totally false. Because if you was at practice today, you saw our defense get after our offense and completely shut everything down than what they did. And they were flying around, making a lot of plays. So it is fun. It is great competition. That is one thing that I really try to input when we get to practice is our Monday and Tuesday practice is it's about us getting better. Yeah, we game plan. Yeah, we're sitting there in our B swap periods, our A versus B periods, and we're working on the other team. But we're always going to go good on Monday and Tuesday. And I always feel like, you know, and I've said this several times, if we can come out and play at that level of speed on both sides of the ball, we give each other a great look, we're only going to continue to get better. So we try to, you know, really come out on Monday and Tuesdays and have a lot of competition. But, you know, I'll say this right now, that defensively and in our tempo period and our team play-up period today, they took over. I'll say that.
Well, congratulations. The team is looking great, 9-0, and you got a great coaching staff. And look forward to calling the next Glenwood Gators game. And right now what we're going to do is, this is the second segment of the Glenwood Gators Coach Show. We are going to go ahead and take a break as you are watching the Coaches Show live on Georgia Alabama Sports Live here at Mike and Ed's Barbecue. We'll be back with a preview of Chambers Academy. You don't go anywhere. It's Glenwood Gators Coaches Show. Evening, Gator Nation. Welcome back to the Glenwood Gators Coaches Show, presented by Georgia Alabama Sports Live. I am Richard Holdridge. You know, I didn't even introduce myself. I am filling in for Wes Hargrove. 5 straight weeks, did a great job. I was behind the camera, producing the show. A big shout out to Chris Gates, who's working the camera, doing the computer, doing the breaks, the transitions. Just a phenomenal job. We worked with Chris Gates on the broadcast. Coach, I want to talk about this Friday night. It's a big one.
Yep.
Glenwood 9-0, going up to Lafayette, taking on Chambers Academy that's 8-1. Their only loss was in week 1 to Lee Scott Academy 14-7. This is a very good team. I saw Braxton Yurda. He's a great running back. They are the AISA Class 2, and they're competing for a state championship in Class 2. This is going to be a big test. It's a non-region game. You've already won the region. But, Coach, what are you looking forward to going up to Lafayette and taking on a Chambers Academy team, possibly for the last time, as you make that transition to the AHSAA next year, and more than likely Chambers Academy is going to stay in the AISA?
Right. Just looking for it's going to be a great game, and I think it's going to be a great environment. I know it's going to be a great environment. They got a great football team. They got a great coach. You know, they're 8-1. They lost the first game, I think 14-6 to Lee Scott.
Right.
And they've rolled off 8 wins, and they've been playing really good ball. They're hot. They got a good team. They got good players. They got a good scheme on both sides of the ball. So it's going to be a challenge for us. And but you know, we've been in some very, you know, I guess good ball games. We've been in some 4-quarter wars. We've played some really good teams on the road. And so we just got to kind of go do it again. And you know, we're trying to finish the thing off and be 10-0. And so, you know, we're just trying to, you know, work like we do every week. And I know Wes says this every week. Our process don't change. So, you know, we're really treating this like a playoff game, kind of state championship type game, because we know we got to go on the road if we was to get back to the state championship game. It won't be at home. And we're just trying to continue to play good ball and stay hot. And but we know it's a challenge this week for us. We definitely got our hands full.
Oh, absolutely. We talk about going on the road, having to go travel 2-3 hours for some road games. Lafayette is about 45 minutes up the road. I mean, it is a road game, but the travel is not too bad. Some of the Glenwood fans should make it up there, but if they can't make it up there, this game will be broadcasted on Georgia-Alabama Sports Live. Myself and Thrift Behringer will be on the broadcast. We are excited about calling this game. And Glenwood, Chambers Academy, this is a rivalry, even though they're not region rivals because they're two private schools in the Chattahoochee Valley. Glenwood beat Chambers last year in the Swamp. But looking at this season, Coach, Glenwood 9-0, I mean, they have really, made the adjustments. The teams that they lost to last year, Pacelli, Brookstone, Lee Scott in the regular season, they were able to win those games. You go into this Chambers game and then the playoffs. What are some things that your team can improve on?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, you're always striving to get better, at the little things, Richard. I mean, it's football, and you got to block, you got to tackle, and the small things like that, people that take for granted, but especially this time of year, it's going to be the little things. And I tell our coaches and I tell our team, I say, the way to win a state championship, I've been fortunate enough to win one. I've been fortunate enough to be in the game 3 times, now. And hopefully it'll be a 4th this time, this year. But it goes back to almost what I like to say is day one install. I mean, the teams that really can come out and run their base stuff and be good at that, have an identity, run the football, stop the run, be sound on special teams, are your team that's going to win championships. And I don't think there's no different if you look at the Final Four that's going to happen in college football. I don't think there's no different if you look at the Super Bowl or the NFL playoffs. I mean, it's fundamental football wins, and I don't think you have to come out with all this crazy razzle-dazzle and a bunch of trick plays and doing crazy stuff like that on either side of the ball because the teams that do that, that's going to get you so far, but eventually that's going to calm down and you got to beat somebody. So for us, it's back to fundamentals. It's always going to be fundamentals for us, and doing the small things. Limiting the penalties and just trying to play good, clean football.
And speaking of a championship Glenwood team, we just got word while we were at the break that the Glenwood Gators volleyball team had a big win. Coach, you want to tell the audience about where they're at?
Congratulations to Coach K, Love Strength, and her staff and her team. They're advancing back to the state championship game. They'll play tomorrow at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. I don't know who their opponent is, but they're going for the 4-peat. Going for the 4-peat. So, couldn't be more happy for them and the girls. And we'll be pulling like crazy for them tomorrow. We'll take a couple buses up there at some point tomorrow, and take the football team up there to rally them on. So, just that's just how our school is. We're always pulling for each other. It's a family thing up there. So, very happy for them. I know they had to go through 2 tough contests today, and to get back. So, just extremely happy for her and her team, and know that the football team's pulling for y'all.
I love seeing that about Glenwood. The football team supporting the basketball and the baseball team. I actually saw you at the championship game that Glenwood took on Macon East down in Montgomery for the baseball championship. The Glenwood basketball team winning the championship down in Montgomery. It's just great to be a Glenwood Gator. Coach, I got to tell you, I've had a blast doing this coach's show with you. Filling in for Wes Hargrove. I hope he gets better and he comes back and does this because he does a great job. I love producing it, but I can fill in whenever you need me. But
that's right. I appreciate you, Richard. Thank you so much.
I really do appreciate that, Coach. And go Gators. Good luck against Chambers Academy this Friday night. We'll be up in the broadcast booth calling the game. Myself, Thrift Behringer, for Georgia-Alabama Sports Live. If you can't make that trip up to Lafayette, you can watch it on our YouTube and Facebook page, Georgia-Alabama Sports Live. Thank you so much, Coach Nelson.
Richard, thank you so much.
Another great show.
Appreciate you coming on here and doing this for the kids. And, like I say all the time, thank y'all, so much your company and what y'all do, and Thrift, what y'all do for these kids. And y'all got an awesome show. We went up there last Tuesday night again.
That was a lot of fun.
At happy hour, and you had some stars back on there with Jonathan and Jack on there also. So always good to support y'all, and always good and thankful for what y'all do for these kids and these schools. And I look forward to seeing you at the game Friday. And again, go Gators.
Absolutely. And we will be back at Happy Hour Bar and Grill Tuesday, November the 7th. That will be our next show. We will not do a show next week because it is Halloween. But we will be back there. Coach, we would love to have you back there
for
the show. I want to thank Chase Cook, the owner here at Mike and Ed's Barbecue. just for being hospitable and allowing us to use his establishment
That's right.
and do the show. And he's got great barbecue too.
Always.
I went and got a plate before we started the show. Like I
It's always
do.
great.
And,
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, our producer Chris Gates. You know, just pretty much doing double duty. I mean, I was his co-producer when we were doing the show, but yeah, he's been going back and forth with the camera, the computer.
He's awesome, ain't he?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolute superstar. And him and Toygar, we can't ask for two better producers.
You're right.
And really, Thrift Behringer and myself just starting this thing up, and really, we wanted to continue to expand and continue to cover games here in the Tri-City area.
Well, I definitely think y'all on the right track. Y'all got a good recipe for what y'all are doing, and I think it's, you know, for y'all, football is a big thing for y'all in the fall. But I think the good thing about y'all is y'all produce the basketball and the baseball, so y'all hitting all the sports for the kids. And like I said this in the past, I wish I had this back 20 years ago when I played, because it's
nice.
amazing, man. At the sport and the amount of you know, just this media time y'all give these kids.
Absolutely. Thank you, Coach. That is our show. Thank you once again for joining the Glenwood Gators Coaches Show. And we'll see you next time. Have a great night, everybody.